Good evening, everyone. It's Dan's All About Arsenal, and we are back with another week of the All About Arsenal podcast. My good friend Josh, he's in here to talk about everything Arsenal related, and obviously talk about last week and the upcoming week as well. But we have to play the intro before we get into it, Josh. So let's go. Let's do this. Hello, welcome back. The intro, still loving it, mate. I'm still love the intro, but we're back with a mixed week, I think, mate, this week. So,
Absolutely.
I've kind of titled it the Brentford highs, the Aston Villa lows, and we're going to kind of break it down and talk about each game. And I kind of want to get your take on it. But obviously, and a reminder for anyone in the chat box who's watching live, remember, subscribe, because we are literally new channel, but we've grown a lot in a real short space of time. I think we've just hit over 700 plus subscribers, but we had a video last week, Josh, of 60,000 views, which I just told Josh he fell off his chair. He's like, my God. So, YouTube famous, so clearly. We're quitting our jobs. We're doing it full time. But no, it's just a lot of fun. It purely is just like a couple of mates down the pub having a chat about football, but we're just recording it for everyone to join in and watch. So, but if you do want to get involved, even if you're watching this later on, you can still comment after and we'll reply to your comments. So it's all good. But Josh, how you doing, mate? Tell me about your week. How's it been? You good?
Yeah, I'm very good. Work's been good.
Good.
I've been working at my parents', which is quite funny, really, I suppose.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but it's a bit of travelling, I must say.
A little bit.
Yeah,
you know,
4-hour round trip. So,
oh my God! Oh, seriously?
Yeah.
Just staying. Oh, you've got a kid, didn't you? It's
yeah. And the dog who's looking at me now whining. So if you hear any weird sort of noises in the background, it's not you stomach or anything like that. It's my dog Hopper.
Okay. Hopper. We said this off Stranger Things. What a great name.
Yeah. I do love it. After Sir Jim Hopper.
Sir Jim. Wow. Favourite. He's up there as a great character, mate. To be fair, we should do another podcast about Stranger Things because I've just finished the first 4, mate. Unbelievable.
You only just finished it?
Well, I'd say a few days ago, but I've kind of then rewatched it with the kids. So I've seen it twice.
We've seen it about 4 times, I think. Now
it's unbelievable.
Like countdown, but obviously a bit of an indifferent week with our results. And I mean, even though we beat Brentford, it wasn't our most polished performance.
I mean, it was a job done, kind of let's get it done scenario, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it was one of them. Like again with the injury to Mascara, it was like another one. I know. Obviously, we go on and on about our squad depth, but there comes a point where you can only lose so many players.
It's so frustrating. He just jarred his ankle. It looked like, didn't it? I think.
It kind of looked like a little bit of a nothing, kind of like almost like a precautionary. Like he's jarred his ankle, nothing to worry about. But now they're saying he's going to be out for like 6 weeks, and you're like,
I know. I was really surprised about 6 weeks is all we need, and you got Timber was like, bloody, I was hoping for a rest, and straight on the bench, like off the bench.
Yeah, exactly. And to be fair to him, I thought he did pretty well at centre back. I mean, that was one of his positions at Ajax when we bought him. So
he could play pretty much anywhere across the back 4, can't he? So he's a great versatile player.
I mean, you can see that when the way he plays like at right back, that he's versatile. You know, when he sort of plays in that slightly more inverted role and comes into midfield, and he's obviously a great defender. I think in terms of he's aggressive and. He wins the ball a hell of a lot. All his duels and things like that. He always comes out on top.
He's an unreal player.
So I mean, as much as it was sort of you're like, okay, well at least we've got someone.
I know, thank God. Because then you had like Salmon on the bench, wasn't it? Marley Salmon on the Aston game.
Yeah,
which we will get to. We will get to that. But we need to stick with the positives first.
Let's chronologically do it as well, I suppose.
Okay. Where did you watch the game? Out of interest, Josh.
I just watched it at home. Both games I've just watched at home on the old telly.
I was annoyingly at work, so I kind of caught the end of the first half. And scored, which is annoying. And then, then obviously I watched the other kind of second half at work pretty much. But it was hard always to see it kind of on your mobile and stuff like that. But I obviously rewatched the highlights and stuff just to kind of recap it. But
yeah,
it was frustrating game. In a way, it's a good game. Like in the sense we were dominant, all that kind of stuff. But there was almost an inkling going, well, we scored really quickly, which I was like, oh, come on, we're on for a good one here.
Yeah,
And
nice goal as well.
The goal was unbelievable because you had White coming back, and I thought obviously he was man in the match. He had an unbelievable game. In fairness to him.
To be fair to him, to come back after not really playing, and before that he wasn't playing. One, because Timber was so good, but also he was injured, wasn't he? So he was coming back from injury, kept on getting like little knocks and stuff in training. So he was sort of struggling to get match fit again. And then Timber was keeping him out. And to be fair to him, I mean, he's always quite funny, I think, in his like post-match like interviews and stuff like that.
I said this to Cherie,
lackadaisical and kind of like
he's not great on the media.
Sort of bloke that sort of like if you went to him and said like, oh, you're a professional footballer, you must love it, he'd probably go, nah, not really, it's a job.
Not really. Yeah, just come and have a kick about.
Yeah,
he's so laid
I'm
back.
just doing the job. But, he's almost, he's not obviously as aggressive talking, but it's a bit like speaking to someone like Roy Keane, isn't it? It's like, just so like matter of fact.
I forgot. To be fair, I kind of forgot how much we missed him in the sense of I love him as a character and a personality in the team in that respect.
Yeah.
And I missed the old dark arts.
I think his like relationship with like Saka and the way that they kind of and Odegaard in that like triangle that they play, I think it's very it just reminded me of how good he sort of was really. And it's good that someone like that can come in and sort of put in a good shift, and he did smash it, to be fair. There was a couple of chances he actually had to score himself, and I was sort of like, a bit unlucky.
It was unbelievable, and I think I just love seeing him because he's always up and down that wing, isn't he? He's always given an option, and obviously the first goal come from a really impressive. I think Madueke had a really good game, and he obviously just little flick round and White. They kind of obviously it looked like they practiced this on training. I was like, because it was perfect. He ran, timed it perfect, crossed it over, and obviously it was a fantastic header by Marino, who is the best sort of non-number 9 we've got. He's it was just the perfect header down, bounced and in. You just thought 11 minutes. I'd noted that down. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the
game
off.
There's so many other sort of podcasts and stuff like that I sort of see snippets of, and they all go, when are we going to stop sort of saying that he isn't a number 9 and just basically say he is a number 9 now? And even like in other media outlets where they sort of list where he's played, like when he was at Dortmund, he played centre back under Tuchel.
I know.
Obviously at Sociedad he was a midfielder, and sort of playing across the whole midfield, and now
he's just worked his way forward,
like a makeshift forward. But I mean, aside from the fact, I think it's what it is. It's almost like that kind of, because he isn't an out and out number 9.
Yeah,
he kind of does things a little bit different, doesn't he? So
unexpected, maybe for
if you was to compare him to say like a Gyökeres, who's gonna be powerful and make loads of runs and try and make runs in behind, and then you've got like Kai Havertz, who's going to sort of, he's going to drop deep, but he's going to do things in a different way, to what, what's expected. So I think defenders and stuff struggle to sort of pick him up, and he's obviously quite good, because he's not overly quick or anything like that, but he times his runs really well into the box.
His timing's unbelievable, isn't it? And when you look at that goal was a perfect example of right place, right time,
spot on, wasn't it? Like
great finish,
nice little. Well, and this is the sort of thing, and I suppose answering the sort of the critics of like rival fans and stuff like that when they call us like set piece FC and stuff like that. We didn't score a set piece in the whole of November. We had
the most goals.
yeah, exactly. We scored the most goals and the most like in play goals. But it's just frustrating, because when you watch games like that, and like you say, we started so well, we got an early goal. Why can't we just like push on, and I know we still created chances, but it just feels like there was a few sort of moments lost, you know.
Yeah, I agree.
And you know, I mean, there was a good save from Raya. It was that game, wasn't it? Where he made that.
So yeah, no, I literally I noted it down actually, mate. The save was unbelievable. It was a really good header. Is it? I can't even pronounce his name right from there.
Sade, wasn't it?
Sade, yeah. So he
not
hell of a
the
jump.
80s singer.
No, no. No, the more nimble one to jump up, but he was up in the air.
Yeah, it was a good header.
Great header.
I mean, when I can't remember who was commentating on the game, it might have been Alan Smith, who I really obviously I rate as a bloke because he's an ex-Arsenal player, but I find him a very good commentator. He's not biased, which I'll get onto that point later when we talk about the Everton game, because Martin Keown was the commentator and he was winding up something chronic, and I think everyone else, I think everyone else has had enough of him as well. But yeah, it was. He sort of they basically said, "Oh, that's a world-class save," and is it, or is that a save he should be making? Because it wasn't that far away from him. Yes, okay, it was a good header. It wasn't from far out, but I'm going to sound like Roy Keane here. I'd be expecting him to save that as a goalkeeper.
That's what you're paid to do. Okay.
That's what you're paid to do. That's your job.
Fair enough. I mean, it's probably like the one save he had to make, in all honesty. I think that was the one shot on target he had, I assume.
Yeah. But I just think people throw around these sort of comments too much in terms of like, oh, that's world class. That's it, because it then puts too much pressure on them. And I feel like sometimes with Raya, like there's been a few people say like that he is a world class goalkeeper, and I'm not disputing that. Like I do think he is a world class goalkeeper, but if he was world class, then he'd be starting all the time for Spain, which he doesn't. It's that
I think he will do. Don't you think? I don't think he will eventually.
I don't know. I just don't know if he fits that complete package of what they want. I'm not too sure. I mean, like I say, don't get me wrong. I'm not putting him down here. I think he is a great goalkeeper and he's done really well for us. But I feel like sometimes when that then gets branded about, it sort of creates a bit of a downfall sometimes, like where people kind of then go, when he does make a mistake or whatever, it's like, right, he's rubbish. Do you know what I mean? I'd rather just be like sturdy, solid, keep some clean sheets. And actually, the whole clean sheet record is mainly down to our defence and Declan Rice. Do you know what I mean? It's not a sole kind of golden glove goes to him. It's almost like it should be shared with amongst.
Yeah, it's a funny one, isn't it? Golden glove, because if you didn't have a defence, not you're saving every goal. It's a collective almost. Like you want that as a back 4 or 5, wherever it may be. They should do an award for it, because the golden glove, one, fair enough. You're the best keeper, most clean sheets, but actually defensively, that they wouldn't do it without them. And we're kind of seeing that now. Let's be honest. We've got the makeshift back 4 in, if you like, because let's be honest, we've only got Timber's out of place. You've got Mascara's injured. You've got Nketiah left, and Calafiori, which he's playing well all season. To be fair, I've got no issues with that. But you do. But there should be an award for like the best defense, because was it 8 clean sheets? I think now. I think out of what, the 15.
I
think we've conceded a few more than we'd like, I think now. But it's kind of gone out the window a little bit. But I think was it 9?
I mean, in terms of trying to beat that that Chelsea record, that's looking a little bit less likely now. But I mean, again, I've said it in the few previous, like, these little accolades, as nice as they are, we just want to win the league. That's it.
No one's going to remember that.
As long as we're lifting that trophy, then it doesn't really bother me, all the other bits,
100%. Yeah, 100%. Fully agree with you on that one, mate. But yeah, it was a great save, and I just put down reflexes, and it is a save that, like you say, I agree, should be made, but it was dramatic in the air, pushed it off, I don't know if it was going to go in. I thought it might hit the post.
The fact that he made it so dramatic, because it is a reflex save, so you're going to sort of throw your body around. But
yeah,
you know what I mean? It makes it look a lot more of a world-class save than
I think
than it
Ramsdale
actually
was the best at that, wasn't he? He was the most dramatic kind of saves there. He made everyone look epic.
I mean, they all are, aren't they? They're a different breed, aren't they? Keepers.
Yeah.
You know,
It was good. It was really good. But I did say there was another little chance in the first half, but Madueke, just because I was bigging him up, I thought he had a really good game.
yeah. I'm glad he got his chance as well. To be honest, I'm glad he got his chance because I said about it in the last episode as well that I'd like to see more of him now he's back.
Yes,
because I think it's just going to give him more and more confidence, and as all kind of forward players are, they're very they base their play on confidence.
100%. And I think we've got to, obviously, we're going to talk about the games coming up, but you can see him featuring and probably strongly in both of those. I'd like to think and give people rest. Rotation is going to be really important with, these kind of games are going to be less important, or we should win, if not, it's not too detrimental. But I think Club Brugge, Wolves are the ones we're going to be touching on after.
I was just going to say Wolves were 1-0 down, but they've literally just scored against Man United. So that's 1-0 down.
I was kind of going to say,
but in a way, not only would I love to see Wolves beat them because obviously it's Man United, I would absolutely hate, but but it'd be good for them to get some points so that then when we play them, they're like it's not as much of a. Do you know what I mean? Because I always find, and again I've mentioned it before, that at the moment we're like everyone's cup final. It's like everyone wants to turn up. Like when we played Chelsea, they were, they're a good side. Don't get me wrong, but they played like it was, it was their cup final, and do anything to win, and they even got a player sent off. So it's
it's true, so true, mate.
Yeah.
Before I go on, I just wanted to big up because I've got comment in the box. Rob has followed us for a long time, Josh, and he's always never made a live show. So he said, big up Dan and Josh finally made a live. So welcome, Rob. I put the comment up earlier, but I just wanted to sort of special shout out because he's always he goes, I've missed it, but I'll catch it up. So he's one of our 60,000 views from last time. But Rob, we appreciate you, mate. Thanks. Keep supporting, mate. Keep supporting.
Gunners.
Up the Gunners. Come on, you Gunners. On the second half, so I think that was pretty much first half covered. But second half, I put Calafiori had a really good shot outside the box. That was when it bounced off Marino, kind of misfooted it and didn't get his feet right and just collapsed. Because I think he tried to take it first time, which was a bit unfortunate. If he'd taken a touch, probably got his feet right, he probably would have scored there, I'd have thought. But what do you think on that? Because he just collapsed to the ground like,
it was just got himself in a bit of a muddle, really, didn't he?
He did. It was a funny one. We had a lot of shots. I mean, when you look at the stats, actually, we had a lot of shots outside the box. I think Rice followed up with a great shot, and I think actually that might have been the Marino shot, the Rice one, but it was a great shot on there. I think when you look at the stats, because I'm stats man up here, expected goals on the day is always an interesting one, but it's 1.77. Obviously, possession-wise, we were heavily, 62% possession. We had 15 shots on the day and 7 on target. They had 6 shots and 1 on target, which was kind of getting back to that kind of, defensive structure if we can, hold that. I mean, we had 4 big chances there. One was the header from Sade. They had 8 corners. I don't actually remember that many corners, but it's quite a lot on it. Hell of a lot. But what was interesting, because we didn't get a booking, we were very, I think, aware, Calafiori, especially on that particular game, of not getting kind of a booking at all. So we were quite good on that, which I am thankful for, because obviously he almost took it in the Aston game, which we'll come on to. But knowing that if I miss Wolves, it doesn't really matter, because Skelly's probably going to come in anyway to a certain extent. So
But then I don't know if there is. I don't want to sound like one of these Arsenal fans that sort of like worries me, but I do feel like there's a bit of a refereeing vendetta against us. Like some of the decisions, like I just sort of think that's not a yellow card.
No,
it's not a yellow card. I mean, I think it was. 100%. I mean, it might have been in the Villa game rather than the Brentford game, but Zubimendi got a booking, and it was like, what for? I think you won the ball.
Yeah, exactly that. And evening to Sebastian as well, Josh, another person in the chat. Always say welcome to chat, guys. Any questions you have for us as we go along, chuck it in there, because we will stop, catch up, and then go through. So you're welcome. But yeah, it was a funny one, mate. I think on that side of things. But I think there was also a couple of frustrating points I had because I'm been looking forward to Gyökeres coming back because Marino's been great. I've got no issue with that, but having a proper striker back, and but when he came on, there was an option and a time where he was running forward. Kind of your head is an amazing run. Gyökeres was there. Gyökeres was there, and he decided to shoot. It was a good shot. It went straight to keeper. And it bounced out, and I think it went to Saka, who then, chance for Saka. He finished him for dinner, really easy. But I was like, of course, he's there. He's ready to run. You can see he's watching, waiting, and it was really frustrating. But there was a lot of the balls and the shots we did have went straight to keeper a lot of the time. It was pretty much easy saves for him. But I was getting frustrated, and I have got a screenshot just to kind of show you because this is the one that got me the most. Although luckily Saka scored. I'd love to see what everyone's thoughts are on this. So this was the screenshot from the Brentford game. So this is when Saka's got the ball. He takes the shot, and it was an amazing ball through by Marino. So I've got to give Marino props for that. It was a great assist all the way from the back. Saka was on the run. But look how open Gyökeres is.
Yeah.
And then I know, in the moment, this is a 91st minute. So we're all getting a little bit like, God, let's get the game done because it's 1-0. Anything could happen. And at that moment, he shoots. Luckily, it bounced. Keeper gets a hand to it, but it bounces in. But he could have gone either way. So we've got to be so careful when it comes to this as well. But I was frustrated because I really want Gyökeres to. I wanted to hit the net a few times.
Yeah, I think, and I completely agree with you there, mate. Now he's back. We need to figure out how we're going to adapt to play with him. He does so much off the ball that you kind of go he's trying, but and he gets himself in these positions and you sort of think okay, there might be maybe sort of 1 or 2 out of 10 where he's maybe making the wrong run or he's not in the 6-yard box when where you want your striker at a certain time. But at the same time, the other 8 or 9 times he's there. So let's use him. Let's give him the chance, give him the opportunity. Because
that's it. Give him the bloody ball.
He's so wasted at the moment.
He's great.
I know
he pulls defenders out, doesn't he? It's a waste otherwise, and and it's not going to do him any favors in terms of obviously. As much as they don't listen to the media, or they do, he's going to know that people are on his back, on his case. Oh, well, he hasn't scored this amount of goals, compared to so and so, who's and it's just frustrating because that was the whole point of getting someone like that. Is we do create a lot of chances, so we needed a striker. Yeah, that's what we got.
An out striker, which is what he is. That's what he is. So let's bloody well use it.
Learn how to use him. He's got to learn how to, work with the team. And I think he is. He's there. He's trying to get there. Please, pass to the guy. But that was my frustration. I think because I was like, although he scored, and I was like, yes, but I was like, just pass to him. I was shouting at the telly twice. There was 2 occasions where it happened, and I was really frustrated on his behalf. I think.
Sorry, Dan. This is a podcast first, but I'm just going to have to let the dog out because he's doing.
Well, I've got questions to be in while we're waiting.
So be 2 seconds.
No worries. It's a first, guys. But I've got a couple of people in the chat. Sebastian, thanks so much, mate, for dropping, and appreciate it. But we're still winning the league, mate. I agree. We're just on track. There's just these little road bumps. There's a lot of games to play. It is frustrating. We won against Brentford. We dropped some points. Against Aston, which we'll get into the game next, and it's a frustration. But Sebastian, out of interest, where are you from? Because you're waking up at 7 a.m. to watch this team. I'm assuming you're somewhere abroad. Always good to know where you are. And the question for us is, and I'll put it to Josh. I'm going to read it if you can go for this one, Josh. But what do you guys think about January signings? I see Semenyo talks on Twitter, but we need some midfield reinforcements. Rice/Zubi double pivot will lead us, but we can't run them into the ground. Thoughts, Joshua?
Yeah, that's a very valid point. And I actually saw a quote, again, it was from Alan Smith, our Arsenal legend, that said that for all of, Arsenal's squad depth, there's no replacement for Declan Rice, which there isn't.
He's a worry. It is a worry.
It is a worry because of the style of his game. He's a box-to-box midfielder now. the amount of running that bloke does is unreal. He's going to get injured. He's
had a little tweak, didn't he? You know.
Yeah, it's almost
Minor.
inevitable. I mean, it's only, the fact that he's in the shape of his life means he'll recover quicker. But you sort of think he's marginal in terms of he gets a knock and then he's out. It could be for a long time, and then what have we got to?
Who's the fullback? Norgard, which we haven't seen.
Well, and also actually there was another. I can't remember who that was from, but there was another comment I saw about like why have we not used him more in terms of this rotation, in terms of bringing him on to especially for say someone like Rice. I know they're completely different players, but if we're
just to see it again.
But again, this is my point in terms of against like Brentford, the amount of chances we created after scoring an early goal. If we were say 3-0 up at half time, you could bring someone like Norgard on for Rice to rest him, to give him a little bit of a break, so that then he's fresh for the next. And I mean, another thing which I thought was a bit odd was obviously the fact that we played Wednesday night and then we played the early kickoff on the Saturday, which I thought there was some rule against that, wasn't there?
I'm not. Do you know what? It's going out the window, Matt, in the sense of I remember Klopp used to get really frustrated with the early kickoff games they kept getting, and it was really bizarre. And I know even Arteta kind of had to bite his tongue about it as well. He just said, he's just worried about the players.
I mean, luckily we have got a big squad and whatnot, and we can kind of adapt. But it just makes you sort of think. It's no wonder that we did come up a bit short at the weekend.
Well, they look knackered,
Yeah, I mean, and I mean, Aston Villa, I think, played on the Wednesday as well, didn't they? Or did they play the Tuesday?
Oh, I haven't got it in front of me, but possibly.
Possibly. I mean, they so it's the same for both teams.
Didn't they play Wolves and was that 1-0 or something like that? Something.
No, they played. I think they played Brighton, didn't they? And it was a heavy scoring game, wasn't it? It was like 5-4 or 4-3.
Oh, Jesus! I mean, there was some crazy games last week. I'll have to go through them, but there was midweek football. I was like, yeah, okay, but then like the Man City game was like bonkers. How many goals were going there? And they were, so close. We'll have to roll through them. But do you want to go through results on Wednesday first before Aston Villa? What's your thoughts?
What, on other results?
Yeah, do you want to go through those, or would you prefer to hit up straight into what we're doing?
Let's do it. Let's go for.
Let's do this.
Let's keep it chronological.
We're going. So let's go 7:30.
We'll have to let the dog back in a minute. I can't leave him outside.
Okay. I mean, so we watched me and Cherie. I mean, Cherie is my beautiful wife, but she watched this game and she was like, bloody hell, because it was Fulham and Man City, and that was the 4-5 Fulham. I mean, it was 5-1 at one point, or 3-1, and then they come back and it was so close. And we were I love an underdog, and we were like cheering and going for it that side. But it was unfortunate.
As long as Fulham don't do it to us, I don't mind Fulham because they've got a lot of ex-Arsenal players. Exactly, and they have had a lot of ex-Arsenal players. So and
I like Fulham, but then they are struggling towards the bottom end of the table. So it would be nice to
and I think
take points from Man City.
They got a loss as well, didn't they? Which
not looking great, but I think they're the worst teams, luckily for them this season, I think, and from that side. But so that was a great game. Everton, Bournemouth, I didn't watch, I'll be honest, but Everton come away with a 1-0 win. There seemed to be, I think they could have got whooped the other night, didn't they? Which was kind of, they were just off it, and then they had a couple of good results, and they're right up there. They're right, like, I haven't got the table in front of me at the moment. We'll go on it after, but they're right up there, Everton, which is really like surprising almost to see them. So fair play to Moyes. You had Newcastle Tottenham 2-2. Again, I think Tottenham can't hold a lead because they went, I think, 2-0 ahead, didn't they, from memory?
Yeah. And that's probably the worst overhead kicks I've ever seen, but it still went in, I suppose.
He came off his shin or something like that, wasn't it?
Oh, it's like rolled in the net.
No, I didn't see it. I heard about it, but I didn't see it. But I just we'll move on from both those teams. I like Newcastle. They've got a little kind of place in my heart, but they're one of our bogey teams a little bit. I'm just going to beat them this season. Wolves, at home to Nottingham Forest, they lost 1-0. No surprise there, really. The just being off here. But on that, how's the score going live against Man United at the moment?
Well, it's half time at the minute, so obviously I haven't got the sound on because it might interfere with us. So
fair.
I don't know what the score is, but last I saw it was 1-1.
Okay, we'll check in a minute. Burnley at home lost to Crystal Palace. Palace 1-0. So interesting.
They're up there, aren't they? Palace are in the top 4.
Mate, they're doing well.
Yeah, I mean, I rate Oliver Glasner as a manager. I really do. You know,
a lot of people do, mate.
Was it Frankfurt he was at? I think that they won the Europa League when he was there. Yeah, he's obviously won the FA Cup with Crystal Palace for the first time.
He had a great season last season,
and he's still doing well, even with a depleted squad. That and Europa League football, because that normally for a lot of teams, makes them come unstuck really in the league because of the schedule and everything, playing on a Thursday night and whatnot. But yeah, no, hats off to him. He's doing a good job. Have we got Palace in the next few games?
So we've got them on the 23rd of December and that's just the cup game. So and we come because we had the FA Cup draw tonight, so we have to touch on that as well. So
yes, we got Portsmouth, didn't we?
Portsmouth, interesting week.
Fratton Park.
Come on, I think it's like we should be all right. A good time to rotate. Let's go. But
I think players like Nwaneri, Skelly, all that should be involved in that.
Yeah, I want to see what more when what's happened to him. It's just weird. It's weird. There's players that
again, I feel sort of bad for him in a way in that. I don't actually think he's probably that bothered because he's in and around, and he will get
still so young as well.
Yeah. It's just one of them. Obviously, where we've got such a big squad now, it's going to be even harder for him. But I think he can rise to it because I think he's a quality player. Same with Lewis Skelly. I think he's going through a little bit of a spell, but I think he'll come good.
I think so. Both really talented youngsters, and they will, give them time.
Game time. And I think if they can step up in games like FA Cup or early rounds and even 100%. The League Cup as well, that if they can come in and do a really good job and get us as far as possible, if not winning these competitions, then I think that's the main thing, really.
Yeah. You almost want these kind of competitions, the Carabao Cup, the FA Cup, to be earlier almost in the season, so you can kind of get some of these games out. I think would be sensible. We've had all these international breaks and stuff, all that rubbish. But a couple of our comments just to. It is. That's all it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we've got Kingstar. He was just confirming it's 1-1 still, which is always good. Nice. Okay. Thanks for that.
Yeah.
Kingstar. We've got Sebastian as well. Another question for us as well, Josh. So, how would you guys maximise Eze and Odegaard playing together? When fit, Trossard should be on the left. So where does it leave Eze? This is assuming everyone is fit. Also, I'm from Miami. Oh, cool. You lucky guy. Nice. How's the weather?
You a Dolphins fan?
Yeah. Good question, Josh. I do like a bit of NFL.
Basketball.
So, what are your thoughts on that? I'll leave it up there so you can, if you need to read. But yeah, so Eze and Odegaard, how do we maximise them?
It's too small.
Oh, fair enough. Too many jokes. It's I mean, for me, I think Trossard's absolutely he's played really well on the left this season. So I think he's the definite kind of he's locked it down. I think Martinelli's your backup on the left still for a coming on. This is for me, it's just my opinion. And I think obviously he's been playing it, but he just didn't have a great game, did he, against Aston the other day, and he got took off quickly. And I think you could see him, and I think it would be a good option maybe to rotate with Eze, Odegaard, give Rice a bit of a break. You've still got Zubimendi, which could be rotated as well. I think there's a few options where you rotate Zubimendi and Rice with an Eze, or you put him on as a game changer, someone who's going to come in and be a maverick and create a moment, because he's not up to spec yet, I think, with the defensive work he's got to do, which you saw in or we'll see in the cash goal against Aston Villa. But obviously that's my take and that's my thoughts on it, Josh. But what's your thinking?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree in the fact that for me, Eze is more his sort of skill set and everything is better when he's like the maverick, as you say, and he can float basically across that sort of front three. And I think when we have to sort of pigeonhole him on the left, you don't get the best out of him. And like you said, like you pointed there, he was kind of at fault really for the first Aston Villa goal.
Yeah.
Because his defensive work isn't quite up to scratch. I mean, you say it's not up to scratch, but I think in other games where he was more in that like number 10 sort of role that Odegaard kind of plays, he was tracking back, and he was winning the ball and stuff like that. I think when you're out wide and you're having to track back, it's a different sort of defensive work as when you're in the middle. So you have to kind of really work in partnership with your fullbacks and sort of doubling up on players and stuff like that. And I think just being vocal as well, because sort of I think Calafiori was obviously still on the pitch, wasn't he? But he kind of got dragged inside a bit, and he was kind of a bit in like no man's land, really. Whereas if you've got someone that knows has any kind of defensive sort of nous about them, he would sort of maybe shout and say, like, we've got Johnny Cash coming up here.
Bring a ring of fire, Jesus Christ. But
his ring's on fire.
Yeah, literally. I mean, it's frustrating. I've got a screenshot if you want, just to show while we're on the subject. We will cover it as well. But this was it at the time, and I took this just because I was really frustrated with it. You've got Eza on that far right hand side, if you can see that, and in Cash, you can see the ball's been played and he's already off. Eza's not even looked yet, and then he's like, "Oh God!" And
I mean, I suppose in Calafiori's defence, there is I don't know who that is on the edge of the box, but you can see why he's in that position actually, rather than he's not in no man's land. But again, a little bit of talk and just kind of like, Eza should be more on his toes and
just got to nip in front of him.
Just that's all he's got to do. It's not, it isn't hard
enough to put him off, but it's sorry, Josh, I removed you by accident. There we go, technical problems.
But no, it was screen.
It's getting closer. But right, let's kick off. I mean, we've got let's finish those results off quickly, because we did. What did we get up to? So we're Burnley, Brighton, Aston Villa. So it was 4-3. What another great game. 4-3. Jesus Christ. Then it was Brentford, Arsenal, Liverpool, Sunderland.
I mean, I think we should talk about Liverpool, in fairness, especially with everything that's been going on with Salah and stuff like that. I think, it's kind of comical in a way.
I mean, what do you think of the comments? I was always going to bring this up and touch this at some point, so we might as well get out. Let's talk about it, because obviously he was not happy. He's been left out 3 times on the bench. He's off to AFCON. He's saying it's going to be his last game, before AFCON, and but he wasn't a happy bunny, was he? Unfortunately,
no. The thing is, he's done this before, and it's kind of. I think he was let off the hook before because he's done such a service for them. Sorry, I've got to let the dog in. He's scratching at the door.
Go, mate, go. So for anyone who's joining in, Josh is letting the dog in. But we're talking about, just while it come up, all about Liverpool. Obviously, we're midweek at the moment, 1-1. And obviously there was some comments after the game from Salah. He's obviously not happy. And obviously he's commented, I think it was Norway's kind of press, but obviously it's all come out, it's all across social medias. He's not happy. He's been thrown under the bus, was one of the comments as well. And but it's mental. I mean, I think obviously been a big kickoff. There was something, again, I'm just what you hear and see and all that sort of stuff. There was a bit of an argument. He's walked out from the training ground or something today. There's all stuff going on. And he's not going to be going to the. I think I'm playing Inter. I think, and he's not going to be going along with the team at all. Although he's trained with them supposedly. So there's all kind of stuff that it's the rumor mill and you hear, but you can just see a player who's really upset that he feels like he's earned his role because of what he's achieved previously. But he's not been on form all season pretty much, which is not the Salah that all of us, even as rivals.
No. I mean, I wonder whether the whole sort of Diego Jota thing really affected him.
Maybe.
It's I don't know if he feels a bit of guilt there because he didn't go to the funeral because of his religious beliefs and because of their religious beliefs.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah. So, which it's a valid reason not to go, because you don't want to upset anyone. But
grief's weird if that's why. But grief's a weird thing. It comes at different times, doesn't it? But
yeah, it does. And I just wonder if it is affecting some of the players like a bit more than maybe they sort of let on. Because, like you say, grief is a bit of a strange thing. And as far as I'm aware, he was, Diego Jota was quite a influential guy around the squad and things like that. He was a bit of a jovial sort of person and whatnot, and it probably would affect people in a way that you kind of almost question what you're doing. Because life is short. But yeah.
So I know Liverpool. Because your father-in-law's Liverpool. I work with guys Liverpool as well, and now he was kind of saying they're still like doing a 20-minute clap. I think that's still going on. How long do you carry that on for? And all that kind of stuff. You go, is it just a now forever thing, or do you go this season that it's done? You just don't know what they're going to do with that.
Well, this is, without getting all philosophical on everyone, but that is what kind of grief and when you lose someone, how long do you keep honouring that person before basically you end up forgetting?
Yeah,
and then a thought might come back and you then feel terrible because you've forgotten.
But just life moves on.
I mean, it could be like a birthday or something. Someone and you kind of go like, oh, I completely forgot it was their birthday. Obviously, they're not around anymore, but you then feel like a
bit guilt kicks in.
Yeah, exactly.
No, strange one.
Yeah, so it could be a massive effect on the whole squad, really.
Okay,
but
it's interesting.
I think as well with them, it's just they've struggled to get their players sort of. I think everything about their kind of their transfer window and everything, it was all a bit kind of weird in terms of they obviously did a lot of early business, and then the whole Alexander Isak thing where he, was basically refusing to like train and everything with Newcastle, but then that meant that he wasn't fit enough to play when they did sign him. And I mean, he's been terrible for him. He's got one goal or whatever, and I mean, all right, it was quite a good goal, but it's just sort of like. But I said this. I had this conversation with my father-in-law, who, like I say, is a big Liverpool fan. I work with his brother as well, who's big Liverpool. Like the whole family's Liverpool. And I said I'd be a bit worried about buying Alexander Isak. I know we were sort of, there was a lot of Arsenal fans that wanted him, but he literally had one good season.
Yeah.
If you look back on his
it was his injury record for me that put me off.
Well, and just sort of, I just think he had one good season, and to spend that amount of money on someone that had one good season. I mean, people might argue, oh, you've spent 60 odd million or whatever it was on Gyökeres, but he had two good seasons.
Yeah, at least. Yeah.
And he's more of someone that kind of fits that profile of what we needed. We didn't necessarily need I see Isak as a bit of a prima donna as well. I find he's a bit kind of wants it to all be about him, like a kind of a typical striker in a way. But there's something about him I didn't really like. So I'm quite glad we didn't go for him. But
I'm glad, mate. I think we dodged a massive bullet, and then I'm happy that 140 million that Liverpool spent. Fair play, you can keep him. We didn't want him, but I wanted someone who just wanted to come in. I mean, at the moment, Gyökeres hasn't maybe hit the ground like we expected, but we've still got a couple of seasons. I'd probably see us maybe going into the market for more, but I'm looking forward to, we've got players to return as well.
Going back to that original question, because we sort of diverted a little bit, but
we did,
about doing any business in January and stuff like that. I do think potentially yes, but I also think we'd possibly have to ship out one or two. And
who'd you sell?
It's hard to say because someone like Jesus, I'd probably look at moving on. But at the same time, what are you going to get for him? He's not played in a year.
I think you need to play him to get his value back up. I think.
Exactly, but that's what I mean. In terms of obviously we're nearly in January. It ain't far away, and is he going to get any minutes to kind of for someone to go, cool, yeah, he's still got it, or
I think he will come back.
Or for us to go, actually, we don't need to go into the market because we've got someone there who we can use in that role. So it's one of them really. I think
I want to use him. I want to use him, Josh.
In terms of the players who we say are almost like there isn't a replacement. So Rice and Zubamendi. I think Rice is probably the more dangerous one in terms of like if he gets injured, then I think we are sort of up shit creek without a paddle, as they say. But I feel like with Zubamendi, if he had I don't think he's that sort of player that's going to get really badly injured where he'll be out for like weeks and weeks on end. He's quite a clever sort of player, isn't he? Like, yes, he puts himself about, but he's not. Rice sometimes almost goes a little bit OTT with like running up and down and and just like some of the tracking back and stuff he does. You go, bloody hell, how's he done that?
He just doesn't know how else to play though. That's just him. His engines are unbelievable.
And that is what we love him for, and that's why he's, in my eyes, one of the best midfielders in the world. But on the flip side of that, if we were to buy someone as a sort of backup, who would you get? Who would you buy?
I haven't no clue.
Who's out there in that kind of mould? There isn't.
You're never going to get someone the same level. You spent 105 million on him. You're not going to get the same quality of player. But you want someone like an understudy,
Well, yeah, because the other, you could maybe go for. I mean, I don't know if he's fit or anything, but like Camavinga or someone like that from Real Madrid. I've always quite liked him. He can play in several roles. He's very athletic. I quite like him as a player, but he's not going to want to come and play for Arsenal as like second fiddle to Rice, is he? So you're not going to get him today.
We've obviously we've got forward players coming back. Gyökeres starts playing more. Marino, where's he fitting? Is he the cover? Is he so because he can play bloody any position? It seems he'll do one for the team.
Well, see, the thing is, I think when Marino plays in midfield, we look a little bit lackluster.
He isn't the same, but that's the problem.
Yeah. But I just feel like we have to change tactics when we have different players in, which isn't. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
It is tricky.
It's obviously it shows that we're adaptable and we can do different things. But then at the same time, does it really work that well? I don't know.
Okay. Well, I think we'll have to see. I think I'm just looking forward to. We've got more injuries, people coming back, returns. Havertz, Gabriel Jesus. I would love to see Gabriel Jesus maybe popping up in the cup game. Havertz coming back, doubling up with Gyökeres possibly. I think Havertz can also play in that kind of 10 role or 8 maybe. I could see him playing there because he's a very versatile player, and I think he's one of our missing pieces. I think which will solidify the team again. I think he's more important than people realise because I think he's a really good player, and I was gutted that he went out. But I've got another question before I'm going to keep things moving, Josh. But there was a really good question come in Oh no, actually, I think it was more of a big and that which I like. But he said,
nice.
appreciate this. Said this is back from Rob, who's made the live today. But he said he appreciates this level-head discussion. Seeing some crazy meltdowns, amongst the fans base, which is normal because we're all crazy and nuts when it comes to a loss or a draw. Nothing but a win's not good enough. But he said, so considering our issues, what do you think starts / bench for is it Club Brugge or Club Bruges? What is it?
Well, I always say Club Bruges, but everyone seems to be like all the commentators and stuff say Club Brugge.
That's weird, isn't it? So Club Brugge then. So for Brugge, who starts, and what are the biggest concerns right now overall? So double question there from Rob. So for you, Josh, I mean lineup. I think the main rotations are going to be probably Skelly in, Wanyeri in, Gyökeres is going to come in. Trossard, I think, had a bit of a niggle, so I can see Martinelli starting, or maybe Eza on the left still. And I think you'll have Noni Madueke on the right.
Yeah.
I still think you'll probably have. I think they should play Norgard. I've got no problem with Norgard. We haven't seen enough of him really, but he should be rolled out for this.
I kind of really like him, and do you know who he really reminds me of? And this is a private kind of thing. No one else will probably know who we're talking about. Right. But Thomas Webb.
Oh, cool, yeah. Yes. Webby, if you're watching.
Yeah, Webby, if you're he's a Spurs fan, so he won't. But
he definitely won't know.
Yeah, he sort of reminds me of a sort of him sort of player, like very steady, very kind of like, nice, delicate touches, stuff like that. Does everything nice.
Talent though.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was good football. I say was. He's not dead. He's alive.
You haven't seen him for a while. He's still alive. If you ever watch this, we love you, man. Nice guy. But no, I think we need to see Norgard come in. I think it would be great. And I think with the two games, you could pretty much play the same team twice. I think because I think either way, you've got good rest, maybe a bit of rotation. I don't. That's what I would think.
Yeah. I think rotation is the key in terms of let's have a strong bench.
Mm-hmm. You still have
let's not try and sort of change things up in every position. Let's not go let's just change the whole team. Even though we could do it. But I still think the back four might stay as it was. So with Ben White, Timber, Nketiah, he might start Lewis Skelly. I just feel like he's, as much as I really want it, and I said before, I think he's more sort of built for European football. He seems to just get booked so much, and it sort of worries me.
And
he gets a little bit caught out here and there, and you're sort of like, ugh. But then he'll do something amazing, and you're like, he's one of the best young players in the league. And I don't know. I'd actually quite like to see Raya get a bit of a break and bring in Kepa, because I think Kepa's a good goalkeeper, and I think since when he went to Bournemouth, it sort of seems to calm him. It seems to sort of calm him down a bit, whereas when he was at Chelsea, he was a little bit like, it's all about me.
Well, I think he's
I'm
definitely
coming off.
I think they'll definitely change Kepa, mate. And I think I do think it's just then. In all honesty, I do think it's like who we're going to keep. And I think Odegaard's just come back, so I think he'll play a lot of minutes.
Yeah, I think he'll play because as well he's the captain, so I feel like he should be the one. If there is a big change, in terms of the players, then and maybe not start Rice, and maybe go for probably still keep Zubimendi and maybe go with Marino.
I think,
No, I mean, again, I haven't really seen. I know Club Brugge have been part of the Champions League for a few seasons now, but I've not really seen much of them to sort of go.
I don't fit any that have been.
I don't really know. The only player I know is they've got that Portuguese guy on the wing. Can't think what his name is, but he used to play for Man City. I think came through their youth system or something. And he's doing quite well. But apart from that, I don't really know anything about them. I don't know if they're physical, if they're one of these sort of Dutch Belgium sort of team where they play from the back, a bit slow, kind of. Is that an opportunity for our sort of fringe players like the Nwanieris to really step up and come in and go like, look, this is me.
Yeah.
Score an absolute worldie with his left foot, whip it in.
That'd be good.
I mean, that'd be lovely, wouldn't it?
It would be beautiful. I mean, looking through the last few results, just the Champions League. So they played Sporting last time, obviously where Victor Gyökeres come from, and they lost 3-0 to Sporting, which we smashed them last time we played them last year. And then they played Barcelona, which they drew 3-3 against Barcelona,
Yes.
which was at home.
I think that was the game that player that I was talking about. Can you name the goal scorers?
On that goal, let me click on it. Let's have a look. I've just got the general results up. So who scored? So you got Tresoldi, Forbes. Forbes, yeah.
Forbes, yeah. He's the Portuguese guy. Yeah, he's quite good.
Scored two in that game.
Yeah.
So fair play. But I mean, it's a solid result. I mean, Barcelona, I don't think they've been the Barcelona best, but that's a solid result for them, 3-3. And then before that, they lost 4-0 to Bayern Munich. Bearing in mind, we just beat Bayern Munich 3-1. So again, that's with our better side.
Yeah, I think the quicker we can bounce back, as they say, the better. So that's what I mean in terms of it's tricky. You don't want to change it too much in terms of like you want to give the players that maybe played at the weekend at that kind of opportunity to show that it was just a little blip essentially. But again, it'd be ideal world. We'll score 2-3 early goals in the first half.
Just kill it off.
And just kill it off. Exactly. Just kill it off and just be like, and not concede.
Yeah.
Let's try and get back to that.
Okay. Well, I think it's quite good because we've covered the Club Brugge game, but we haven't actually touched on Aston Villa yet. So I think we do need to touch on that. And I got a couple of pointers, but I mean, if I run through a couple of notes about the game, watching the highlights, sort of going back through it, and I think Watkins, he had a really early chance and it was a really good save. It was quite, a keeper save, down low, really quick. He done well to get that, but defensively we were a little bit maybe lackluster at that moment. Then we had, let's have a look here. So Saka had some few good shots. Saka was having a few, unfortunates. He had a shot from outside the box, which I think the keeper saved, and then it come back and out again, and he had a header which he should have gone. It was going like far right corner. He just missed, completely went wide. So he, I think everyone was slightly off it, maybe showing a little bit of tired sort of legs. Fatigue for sure, and that's why this rotation couple of games is so important. And I think we had then the Matty Cash incident, which again to show, whack it back up on there on screen. So people who are listening, if you're on Spotify, which are on stuff now, you won't be able to see this, but on the YouTube channel, you can see it was a cross whipped in. Matty Cash at the back. Eza kind of unfortunately switched off. He's not, defensive player, but obviously it was a nutmeg through Raya's legs, and I don't think you could do much about it. It was a great shot, in fairness to him.
Yeah, he hit it well.
Hit it sweet. Yeah,
hit it well. You can't really blame the goalkeeper for any of that. Really, it was the only person you could blame is Eze. Really, he
in that opportunity, in that situation, Eze was at fault.
I mean, he knew he was at fault because straight away he was. He was
off. Yeah, he was off half time, wasn't he? And there was the change. And obviously they brought, because he was playing on left, Trossard come on for a bit of a cameo almost, because I don't think he was fully fit. He gave about half an hour. But straight away, changed. He had a really good.
I mean, he is playing like a man possessed when he's on at the moment. He's just doing so well. He's everything about his game is spot on. And I think again, there's a few things I've seen throughout the week of is he actually our most influential player at the moment? And
one of our MVPs, mate. I think.
Yeah. He's sort of that contract extension or whatever it was, more money, whatever it was, is really had effect.
I mean, I don't blame him. He's actually $40,000 a week. Well, brilliant.
I'll start playing now.
I'll kick on. Same again next year. But that chance that was, I think it'd been over to him and just landed. I think it was Saka possibly. But it was a nice little kind of flick over, hit it sweet on the volley, and it was unlucky not to score. It went across the goal, and you're like, oh god, it was so close. And we did actually. We also had that Saka cross, but he just got offside, crossed it to Ezra, and Ezra they kind of knew, and it was just like, and that was so. But that's almost, we saw that repeat a few times, which almost is where the Trossard goal come from. But it would have been a Saka, I think, almost assist to Trossard, but it kind of touched, come off one of the defenders into Trossard's path, and he smashed it through. And we're 1-0, we're back on, and we think we're back on track. And it was like, right, this is it, we're back.
Yeah.
And
I think, in my opinion, I think tactically, Aston Villa outplayed us. Yes, we had chances. Yes, we could have, scored and put the game to bed, or we could have managed the game better in terms of once it was 1-1, maybe going like, look, let's just try and see this out. But I just feel like it was mainly in the midfield where, again, tactically we were kind of outplayed. More from like Unai Emery, I think, is like the way he set Aston Villa up with the way they pressed, like Zubimendi and things like that. I think it was just.
Was it Tielemans? Wasn't it ahead of a game?
I think we then struggled to adapt to try and conjure up something else, and it then left a lot of holes and a lot of pockets for them to sort of break into, and which they did, and they did it quite well. And obviously the goal at the end, you could argue, a bit of luck, but you make your own luck. And I think, like I say, tactically, that's how they did it.
They didn't give up, and I think we were tied towards the end, weren't we? And I think it was like the 94th.
I mean, it wasn't. I don't feel like we gave up. As it was nothing like that. It wasn't like, we've put the white flag out, surrender. It was just
still going.
Yeah, we were still going. We were still trying. Like I say, we had a few chances ourselves. It's just a bit unlucky, really, I suppose.
We'll touch on this. I've got a question from Alex has come in, which actually is kind of, I'll bring it up now because it's kind of a point we were getting to. But so Alex says, hi guys, do you think the neutrals would have enjoyed that game end to end and so many shots on goal, plus a couple of very slick moves from Arsenal? And I kind of was going to say, it was a great game to watch because it was literally
very end to end, and there was a good atmosphere at Villa Park, I must say. Their fans
build up was good, wasn't it?
And our travelling fans were good. Like I say, the atmosphere was pretty banging.
You could hear it. You could hear us, hear them.
Yeah, I mean, you could hear Prince William.
He was buzzing that day, I bet.
But I think. As a neutral, I can see people liking that. And also as a neutral, I can see them loving the fact that Arsenal lost, because that is what everybody's wanting. Everybody's wanting us to slip up, to bottle it. And
that's all we're hearing.
You can't bottle the league at Christmas. Do you know what I mean? It's like, again, I think I touched on the point. If we can, like before, if we can be still top, I don't care by how many points, but still top in the new year, I think we will win the league. But this is always the toughest time.
We've struggled in December in the past, haven't we?
Yeah, we have. We've always dropped points in December, apart from Invincibles, but
just lots of draws.
Well, yeah, exactly. You're still dropping points from time to time, aren't you? But we've always had like a little blip around this time of year. So if this is the blip and that's it, I ain't bothered. I knew there would come a time where we end up, losing. It's just, I suppose it's just frustrating because you just know there's so much more that this team can give. And
did you see him at the end? Have you seen the clips? As soon as that goal went in, literally all of us, even me as well, on the floor hitting the ground. There was the frustration, and they were just like so disappointed. And I think, from a fan's point of view, obviously you feel it with them. And I think genuinely, I was thinking, kind of, you'd want them to be upset. It's such a big deal to every one of it is so focused in what we want to achieve this season and know how important it is, not just for them, for Arteta, for the club, all this kind of stuff. And they want it so bad. They're kind of, and I just think there's no way surely we can't. And I'm not like him. You can't boil it like you said, at Christmas and all that kind of stuff. We're not even the favourites at the start of the season. When you think of it, Liverpool just won the league. Man City were second favourites. We were probably third. And we're at the moment, we're still the best team in the country. We're still top of the league by 2 points. Realistically, we should beat Wolves, at the weekend to continue. So it's over to everyone else to make sure that they do what they can. But we've got not a terrible run in, apart from seeing Villa again for revenge back at the Emirates, which I still think is bonkers at the end of December.
That's so soon.
Really, really weird. But I really want a little bit of revenge just to kind of,
100%. But do you know what? I've watched pretty much every game this season, and I still don't think we're at our best in terms of what we could produce, and we've not got our 100% best starting 11.
I don't think we've had it all season technically, because we had it maybe for one match at the start was Man United, and we've had injuries since, and all teams suffer.
That was always going to be difficult because of the new recruits, them bedding into the to the squad, into the team, and into the way we play. That kind of initial sort of 5-6 games at the start of the season was always going to be a little bit like, finding our feet,
Sure.
But we've had literally injuries from almost day one.
Yeah, no, so true. And I think, look, get past the injuries, get through Christmas, and let's see what January onwards brings. I think it's exciting. I'm enjoying it. Obviously, it's just the frustration. I think we're lucky to have this run of games. What's it, 17, 18 unbeaten games? Like we're lucky to have that run, and that's how good a squad we've created. Even with injuries, we're still doing it without a proper number 9. But Marino's, he's become the new number 9, whether we like it or not. And I really like him as a player and all that kind of stuff. And we've got I just can't wait for people to come back as well. Just to add just that extra layer of kind of almost chaos, which like the Ezes of the world bring. But I just want we need more people. We need to be able to change it up and chuck something different at teams as well, because if you play the same way all the time, people are going to find you out eventually. But I think we've got so many different options. And the forward line is really where we've been hit. Now it's defensive, and the kind of middle of the park at the moment staying fairly level. But there's another question, Josh, that's coming from Sebastian, the guy in Miami. We appreciate the question, Sebastian. So he says, in hindsight, should we have gone for either A.A.A or Walter Maid? Also on MLS, midfield minutes against Brugge. Is his future in midfield?
I'll tell you what, that's a good shout.
I mean, it's been talked about, hasn't it? Because he's naturally a midfielder.
He is a midfielder, yeah. I mean, that's where through the academy and everything, he's always been a midfielder, and you can kind of see that with them runs that he makes, where he sort of, he uses his body well, doesn't he, when he's like turning players and sort of bouncing off them. He's very strong, got a good sort of low center of gravity where he can kind of almost looks like he's going to fall over, and then he just carries on.
keeps going.
Yeah.
He's impressive. And that's why we want him back.
You know what? I think in some respects, because of his defensive work in playing at left back, could he be that kind of one that goes, right, I'm going to be in midfield and I'm going to do the Zubamendi, where
I would love that.
Kind of like dictate the play and, maybe make a few runs, but just keep the ball moving. Nice little clever like triangles and stuff like that he can do. Yeah, that's a good shout, Sebastian. Like it.
And what do you think? So if you had the choice now, in hindsight, A.A.A or Walter Maid, because A.A.A was
instead of Gyökeres, or
I'm assuming that's good instead of Gyökeres. I assume if I was reading that, because I think A.A.A, he's done really well at Liverpool, and I think he's been leaps and bounds a lot above. Isaac, who's obviously not fit and take time to get in. And I think he's been a much better player. He's a bit young and naive still. I think he's a little bit of maturing as a player, I think. But and then Walter Maid, if that's how you pronounce it, but apologies for the pronunciation. I like him. I like him.
Yeah, I like what I've seen of him. I saw a little bit of him in the under 23s Euros or whatever they call it, under 21s. Saw a bit of him in that, and he looked quite good. Yeah, I mean, I like them both as players. I feel like they wouldn't fit the club. Like
you know how
sort of like well, like how a lot of the players that we've bought more recently, they kind of just fit the club well. Like they, if they're not fans, they look like they want to be fans. Do you know what I mean? They want to be part of the Arsenal family, and it is it's a family club. It's a
I think that's why we love it as well, isn't it? For that reason, always.
Yeah. I just feel like they wouldn't fit, like personality wise.
I suppose I'll be honest. I don't think Gyökeres when I first, because I wanted him as a player, but I don't think he's your normal Arsenal player. In fairness, what's the song?
He is, but then some of the sort of comments that he made, sort of prior to signing for Arsenal, and then when he did sign for Arsenal, I kind of think like he wants to play for the club. He wants to win things with Arsenal. And I think
good.
It's not. You see these sort of like pictures of them when they're kids and they've got like an Arsenal shirt on. I'm not saying they have to be like that, but it's.
I think you've got mum and dad in the background, Josh. Different clubs. Just try to put a shirt.
Just different clubs. Just try this on. Try this on, and when you make it, you can.
Will show me you supported them.
Yeah.
But I think it's interesting as well because Alex has chipped in as well, and he said he would love to see MLS in midfield, and I do think there's a future in midfield, and I think there's something going on in the background we don't know about, and I think he's maybe being pushed towards a Zubimendi type covering role. I would love to see that, and he can still do the left back duties, but I think he's got a really good like mentor in someone like that, like a Zubi, to be cover. Because I think he's got the defensive aspect
for me
going forward as well.
He's got all the attributes. The only thing he needs to work on is his discipline. Because, like I say, he just gets booked far too easily, and then it's a bit of a liability in terms of you kind of think he's going to end up getting sent off here. And I just feel like that side of his game needs to change a bit.
Well, I think it'll be interesting because like Zubimendi's not a big guy,
young,
right?
He's only 18.
Turning
19 soon, and he's definitely. I feel like midfield will be more where he's better suited.
Okay, well, I think we'll have to see what happens, but I could see him being a bit of a like a Zubimendi because he's short as Zubimendi. He's not a tall player, and MLS is the same. So I think actually,
but still very athletic. Still putting a challenge.
Look at him challenging people in the middle of the pitch, like winning the ball back, turning it over, and he's not having to worry about the height aspect. I know the balls are getting maybe kicked over, but that's one thing that he does lose defensively a little bit of his, the height. The rest of the team are 6 foot plus. I don't know if he's 6'1" or something like that. I don't know if he's as tall as that, but I don't think he's that tall.
No, I think he's about 5'10", isn't he?
Yeah, 5'10", 11, something like that. But so I think something maybe middle of the park actually would suit him quite well. I think so. It'd be interesting to see if that would evolve into something like that.
And actually, maybe that game is a good time to sort of show that, or the cup games.
No, exactly. And I just got Sheree saying Rice is definitely a gunner. He's never blue and he bubbles. Fair. Yeah, I think he's come through, obviously, the West Ham and all that kind of stuff. He found the home there, but he's very much one of us now. I think, everyone.
He's 100% a Londoner. He started at Chelsea, went to West Ham, now he's at Arsenal. He had an option to go to Man City, and he said, "I'm not leaving London."
I want to stay here. I like it around here. But no, we're glad for it. We're happy to pay 105 million again if you need, West Ham. But he's been unreal, and he won the award the other night, didn't he? Which I think was voted by the players or the fans?
Fans, I think it's a fans thing, yeah.
But he's just so down to earth. You see little interviews with him on Sky and stuff like that, and he's just, how can you not love him?
This is what I mean in terms of like the personality of the players that we've got. Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously, I might be a bit biased, but whenever you sort of hear any one of them talk, in my eyes, I'm not going, "What are you talking about, you muppet?" But whenever I hear other players talk from other clubs,
you're like, shut up, mate.
And especially with what's going on with Salah at the moment at Liverpool, you kind of go, what are you saying that for?
Did you see the PR man behind him going, "Oh God," like he saw it in his face, and he's like, text his boss going, "We need to sort this out." He's like, the whole thing's a bit of a disaster for Liverpool and the Salah thing, because you think, how can you then reward that by playing him again? It's just
exactly. A
bit of a situation. But I think, does he go in January? Do we think he gets sold off?
Well, potentially, but I suppose the only other thing with the January window is the fact that he's going to be at the AFCON, isn't he?
Yeah, true. Very true.
You know, who's going to want to buy him and then go, "Oh, well, he's just injured himself in the semi-finals against Senegal."
And is he 32? 32 now?
Yeah, he is.
So he's like the past prime.
Well,
but
when I was talking with my father-in-law about it, when he signed the new contract end of last season, didn't he?
He did.
yeah, exactly. They put him on a throne and everything. They did, and then he said he'll probably only play one more season, and then they'll sell him to he'll go Saudi.
Saudi was the thought,
yeah. And he'll basically finish his career there. Which you can see, but maybe he's thinking sooner rather than later.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, maybe just trying to speed it up. Maybe wife's had a word, said, "Right, it's time to go." Especially being benched 3 times. But let's cash in now, old man. But I think it'll be a shame almost that, again, legacy. When you see how many goals and stuff, assists he's had, when you look at his career there, it is a shame, and he shouldn't end like that. I think for anyone, he should have left as a legend. And that's the issue. But he's kind of the one who's started it by being public about it.
Yeah, and again, I'll go back to the comments I've just made about the way people like talk and stuff, and the kind of the way they represent themselves. Salah has always been out for number one. He's always looked after himself. He always wants personal accolades. Yes, he wants to win the Premier League. Yes, he loves playing for Liverpool. I have no doubt about that. But he's all about the personal accolades. I feel like with Arsenal, it's a team, it's a squad, it's a family.
Yep.
I mean, I'm not a religious person, but there's a lot of the guys that are all like Christians, and they kind of like pray together and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and it's, I like it because it's creating that kind of brotherhood, as it were. And so they're gonna want to win this all together for each other as a squad. Even if you're not getting many minutes, you're gonna provide and play for each other.
It's the best, I think, the most together squad I've seen in years. Which that's why I think we're so kind of all behind it, and you just feel like it's going to happen. But I think we're just so desperate for it to happen because of the PTSD of the last 2-3 seasons. Just like, do
you know what? Again, obviously, my main aim would be to win the Premier League, but if we didn't, and we still won something, FA Cup, Carabao Cup, Champions League. I mean, Champions League is obviously up there, but anything I think would be
any of it would be great.
It'd be like, yes, right, we're on the right track. Let's just keep momentum. But I think if we win the Premier League this year, we will be dominant for the next decade.
No, I agree with you. We just need to get over that hill. We've got to try and wrap up, Josh, because we're 1:20 nearly. So apologies everyone. Thanks everyone for sticking with us. We've had people stick with us, but we need to recap on scores and do predictions, Joshua. And I'm really annoyed because you stole my 2-0 at Brentford, and I changed my score. So you got 20 points for getting 2-0 and 10 points for the results. You got 30 points from that one game, mate. We both messed up on Aston Villa because obviously you thought we were going to win. But as it stands, the competition between me and Josh is correct scores, a correct goal score, a correct result. As it stands, you get 10 points for correct result, win, lose, draw. 10 points for if you get the correct goal score, you can only pick one. And if you get the correct score, bang on, 2-0, which Josh got, he gets 20 points. So Josh is winning by 40 points to 10. So good week, mate. Really good, solid week. But we have got, and I'm going to let you go first because I'm that kind of guy. We've got games.
I said you should go first.
Well, look, just don't steal 2-0. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
So I'm going to have to stick with it. Right.
So
we've got
Club Brugge. Brugge away. I'm going to go 3-0.
Nice. Dominant performance. Who's scoring?
Ranieri to score.
Ranieri. Ooh, that's a good shout, to be fair, mate. Ranieri scores. Okay. And it'll push you for Wolves then, mate. Let's go for Wolves while we're on it.
Straight on to Wolves. I'm going to go 4-1.
4-1.
Win, obviously. 4-1 win.
You had to check. Who's scoring against Wolves?
And Marino.
Okay. Good, solid choices. I think I got it. So Club Brugge. Obviously, it's going to be changes. I'm going for 2-0. Got to be 2-0. And Martinelli in the Champions League has scored every 40 minutes. So I think I've got this.
Good shout. Yeah, probably
2-0. Martinelli. Yeah. Okay. And then Wolves. Oh God, I think he's going to go 3-0. Gyökeres is going to score.
Nice.
And I'm literally cashing in next week. I'm going to be like this, Josh. Yeah, take me for dinner. So at the end of all of this, at the end of the season, Josh is going to take me out for dinner because I've won it, or I'm going to take him out. So that's the bet. So just for fun, play along at home.
Hang on, am I not getting dinner? You're just going to take me out.
Just take you out. Just drop you somewhere. You take you out for dinner, mate. Take you to a Burger King.
You're just going to slide tackle me down the high street.
Yeah, like the slide tackle the other night. Did you see that slide tackle? Was it? It was the Liverpool one where he gave the penalty away at Leeds. And you see it? Oh, mate, it was awful. He just
was that Canate?
Yes. Oh, mate, it was awful.
He's terrible, wasn't he? He's been terrible.
And I saw some like fan reaction things online. It was so funny. It was really good just watching them go. No, it was 3-0 against Leeds. I mean, I love Leeds as well, but I was watching them coming back. I was like, "Go on, Leeds!" It was great.
There was something I see online about. I think it might have been Crystal. Did Crystal Palace play Leeds at some point recently?
Oh, let's have a look.
A few games. Because I'm sure it was Henderson, like their goalkeeper. Gave his shirt away at the end, and then they've gone out. Yeah. The bloke's got it, and he's gone out clubbing and put it on.
No way.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool. It's Man City. I thought it was Man City because it was 3-2. That was the close one. Was it before that? I'm not sure, mate. Not them. Leeds, Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest won 3-1. I don't know, but they've had some good results.
There's definitely Palace. I'm trying to think where they were playing. It might.
Sure.
No, I don't know. But yeah, it's funny. I thought
it was good. It was good, but. Mate, we get longer every time. I swear to God. But for everyone who's stuck with us, we've got people in the chat and everything else. We want to say thank you for watching us. It's every Monday 8:30. We've got in a good routine of doing it, and we haven't
worldwide, Miami, baby.
Worldwide. We're in America, Indonesia. I've got people watching. So everyone who's watched and supported, and 60,000 viewers from before, we really, really appreciate it. If you're still watching at the end, because we wanted people to watch all the way to the end, because it's fun. We want you to subscribe to the channel. We're heading to the 1,000 mark, and we want to continue. But we want you with us, and we really appreciate it. There's loads of comments today, so I really do appreciate it. Interact with us, interact with each other. Love it. Come on, you gunners. Josh, any final words for this week's podcast, which is going to be going on Spotify again? I'll try and get on there quicker because we are getting quite a few views on Spotify as well, which is always nice. So need to share the link more.
No, just come on, you gunners.
Bring it on, Club Brugge. We're taking you down. I'm looking forward to the, some changes and seeing some other legs out there. It'll be great to see, actually, to be fair. So bring it on. And obviously, at the same time next week, Josh, up for it?
Same time next week.
Hey, say goodbye. And I'll play us out an intro. See you in the next one. Come on, you get it. Oh, I didn't press the button. Probably 1 second.